Once upon a time, there was a wicked sprite who created a magic mirror. This mirror had a dreadful power. It made everything good and beautiful look ugly and twisted, while anything evil appeared even more wicked and appealing. One day, the sprites tried to carry the mirror up to heaven to mock the angels. But the higher they flew, the more the mirror laughed and shook. It slipped from their hands and crashed down to earth, shattering into millions of tiny pieces. In a big town where there were so many houses and people, lived two poor children named Kay and Gerda. They were not brother and sister, but they loved each other as much as if they had been. Their parents had built a little garden between their attic windows. In summer, Kay and Gerda would climb out and sit among the beautiful rose bushes, playing and reading stories together under the warm sun. One cold winter day, Kay was outside playing in the snow when suddenly he felt something sharp sting his eye and then pierce his heart. A tiny splinter of the devil's mirror had found its way into him. From that moment, Kay changed completely. His warm heart grew cold as ice. He no longer cared for the roses or for Gerda. Everything beautiful now seemed ugly to him, and he became cruel and unkind. He mocked the roses and made Gerda cry. The sweet boy she loved had vanished, replaced by someone cold and mean who found pleasure only in sharp, perfect things like ice crystals and snowflakes. One winter day, a magnificent sleigh appeared in the town square. Inside sat the Snow Queen herself, beautiful and terrible, dressed in a gown of sparkling white, with hair as white as snow. She looked at Kay and smiled. Her cold beauty enchanted him completely. When she beckoned, he could not resist. He tied his little sled to her great sleigh without a second thought. The Snow Queen kissed Kay twice. The first kiss made him forget the cold. The second kiss made him forget Gerda, his grandmother, and everyone he had ever loved. Then they flew away into the icy sky. When Kay did not return, Gerda wept bitterly. Everyone said he must have drowned in the river, but Gerda refused to believe it. She knew in her heart that Kay was alive somewhere. As spring came, Gerda decided to search for Kay. She went down to the river and offered her new red shoes to the water. She climbed into a little boat, and the current carried her far away from home. The boat floated to a garden where an old woman with a magical hat lived. She made Gerda forget Kay for a while with her enchantments. But one day, Gerda saw a painted rose and remembered everything. Could this be the answer she's been seeking? Let anticipation build. Gerda ran from the enchanted garden, crying because so much time had passed. She met a clever crow who told her about a prince whose bride had come seeking him. Could it be Kay? Gerda traveled to the palace, but the prince was not Kay. However, the kind prince and princess gave her warm clothes, a golden carriage, and sent her on her way to continue her search. In the dark forest, robbers attacked the golden carriage. A little robber girl saved Gerda's life and kept her as a playmate in the robbers' camp, where wild animals were kept in cages. The robber girl's pet reindeer, Bay, knew where the Snow Queen's palace was. He had been born in the far north, in the land of eternal snow, where the northern lights danced in the sky. The little robber girl freed Bay and commanded him to carry Gerda to the Snow Queen's palace. She gave Gerda thick mittens and sent them racing north through the frozen wilderness. First, they came to the Lapp woman, who lived in a tiny hut. She wrote a message on a dried fish and sent them further north to the Finn woman, who knew powerful magic. The Finn woman told the reindeer that Kay was indeed with the Snow Queen, happy because of the glass splinters in his eye and heart. Only Gerda's innocent love could save him now. Gerda rode on through terrible snowstorms. Angels appeared to protect her from the Snow Queen's guards, turning the fierce snowflakes into friendly soldiers made of light and warmth. At last, Gerda reached the Snow Queen's palace. It was vast and empty, made entirely of frozen snow and bitter winds. Its halls glittered with cold, beautiful northern lights. Deep in the palace, Kay sat alone on a frozen lake called the Mirror of Reason. He was blue with cold, but did not feel it. He moved ice pieces endlessly, trying to spell the word eternity. The Snow Queen had told Kay that if he could spell eternity with the ice, he would be his own master, and she would give him the whole world and a new pair of skates. Gerda found Kay and ran to him, crying his name. But he sat still and cold, not recognizing her. Her warm tears fell on his chest and melted the ice around his heart. The spell is broken. The splinter washed away. Kay looked at Gerda with clear eyes and burst into tears himself. His tears washed the glass from his eye, and he recognized her at last, little Gerda, his dear friend. Pure freedom and victory! Let your voice dance with delight. They danced for joy, and even the ice pieces danced with them, forming the word eternity all by themselves. Kay was free. The Snow Queen's power over him was broken forever. Hand in hand, Kay and Gerda walked out of that cold palace. The reindeer was waiting for them with a young companion, and they traveled south through the warming spring. They reached home to find everything just as they had left it, yet somehow different. They realized they had grown up during their long adventure. The roses bloomed sweetly as ever. And so Kay and Gerda sat together in their garden, two grown friends now, with the roses nodding around them in the golden summer sun. And they understood the old hymn at last, "Where roses bloom, there shall you find the Christ child." A beautiful fairy tale ending, full of peace, meaning, and blessing. Let the story rest gently.